Brett Favre is supporting an Illinois bill that will not allow anybody under the age of 12 to play youth tackle football. So if you're younger than the age of 12 in Illinois, you will not be able to play youth tackle football. The word is tackle. The key word is tackle. So Brett Favre wants this to be a national law that nobody under the age of 12 can play youth tackle football. And again, Brett Favre is leading the fight on youth tackle football. He's not saying you can't play football. He's not saying you can't play catch. Not saying you can't play flag football. Not saying you can't train. But Brett Favre is leading the fight against organized tackle football. And I agree with this completely. I actually do. Why do you need to tackle before the age of 12? Like, why do we need 11-year-olds bashing into each other with helmets on, hitting each other? There's no reason for that. You can still work on the fundamentals. Like, my kids will play flag football. And they'll get good at the fundamentals. And then when they're ready, when they're old enough, they'll play tackle football. That's fine. When probably middle school age is when they'll play tackle football. If they want to. I won't force it on them. Because football, in my opinion, is the greatest sport in the world. I played my whole life. And I guess I started in middle school. I started in 7th grade. I played all through high school. I played a little bit in college. I think football is just the best sport in the entire world, in my opinion. And the lessons I learned from football, they're irreplaceable. Bad bosses. I mean, football, in my opinion, is just the greatest analogy for life in the entire world. You got to work with people you don't like. You got to work together. You got to have some kind of gumption. You got to work good when it matters most in the fourth quarter. So many ways, football is the best sport in the world, if you ask me. But also, it's true and kind of undisputable. The more times you get hit in the head, the more years you get hit in the head, the more likely you're going to get messed up because of getting hit in the head. So what you do when you end youth tackle football, you shorten the window that an athlete has to get hit in the head. And I don't have any problem with that. Because most kids don't play in the NFL. Most kids do not play college football. So to play in middle school and then in high school, that probably reduces the risk just a little bit. And I'm all for anything that reduces risks. I'm a safe guy. I don't want to live in a bubble, but I don't want my kids to have brain damage when they're older. And so my kids are going to play football if they want to. I'm not going to force it on them, but if they want to play football, go ahead. But my kids will play tackle football until they're in middle school at the very least, because I just don't see a reason for my 7-year-old to bash into another 7-year-old at full speed, however slow or fast they're running, a little helmet on their head and hit each other. There's no reason for that. So I'll teach my kids the correct fundamentals, and when they're old enough, they'll actually start tackling. There's another wrinkle to this, though, that I think matters. So I'm all for the abolition of youth tackle football. I want my kids playing football. If they're 6, I'll play catch with them. I'll teach them how to play a flag. I'll teach them how to break down for tackles or whatever. But there's another wrinkle to this. Washington State University quarterback Tyler Hilinski killed himself last year. It was awful. It sucked. I reported on it. It was not fun. I went to Washington State, so I was there when it happened. I was on campus when it happened, so it was not great. And it was reported today that, I guess yesterday, Tuesday, that when Tyler Hilinski died, he had stage 1 CTE, which is a degenerative brain disease, which is caused, I'm not getting into it, but what happened was that Tyler Hilinski had the brain of a 65-year-old, and he had CTE. And CTE has been linked to football all over the place. And so when I say I have no problem with ending youth tackle football, it's because I think it's the best thing for the human brain. I just don't think that there's a reason for kids before the age of 12 to be hitting each other in the head. And when you get rid of youth tackle football, like Pee Wee football starts at 5 and 6 years old. If you eliminate 6 years of kids playing tackle football, like from 6 to 12, all that does is shorten the window that they're getting hit in the head. And the less times you're hit in the head, the less likely you are to have CTE, to have any kind of brain trauma, to any kind of injuries, because it takes risks. And you can't live in a bubble your whole life. You can't avoid all problems. But if we can reduce risk a little bit, I'm all for that. And so I am all for ending youth tackle football. I didn't play until I was in middle school. Hey, I played in college. I still got there. And the truth is, if you're a freak of nature athlete, you're going to get to Division I college football no matter what your background is. If you have good enough grades and you're a freak athlete, doesn't matter how long you played football. Ezekiel Ansah, I think, walked on to BYU, tried to play basketball, and then got to the NFL because he was such a good athlete. So I don't know. I hope we can end youth tackle football, and it will reduce the risk of kids having brain injuries. So time will tell. I mean, I'm not gonna lobby for it. I'm just gonna make one topic, move on, probably never talk about it ever again. But I just gotta say, I'm in favor of it. That's how I feel. Thank you so very much for watching. Remember, you can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube. You can find the full entire hour-long podcast on YouTube, as well as my best, most interesting clips. If you like Strong Opinion Sports as much as I do, help me grow this podcast by telling your friends about this show. Share it on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow this podcast by telling your friends. Thank you so much, and have a great day.